Federal Form W-4 is also referred to as the Employee's Withholding Certificate. While employees must complete Section 1 of Form I-9 by their first day of work, they can start working before submitting their Form W-4 to their employer. However, it's advisable to have the W-4 in place from the beginning to ensure that taxes are withheld from the employee's wages, according to their preferences.
Hi, Angela. Welcome aboard. I received your new hire paperwork, and it appears I'm missing your W-4. Here's another blank one for you to fill out.
Thank you, I'm glad to be here. So what's this form about?
This one tells us how much income tax to withhold from your paycheck.
Oh sure, can I just take it home and bring it back tomorrow?
Well, it's something I should have on file by your first day of work. If I don't get it back from you before we run payroll, we'll have to withhold at the highest rate.
Goodness, I don't want that to happen. Can you help me fill it out right now?
I'm sorry, I can't advise you on what to claim, but I can refer you to an IRS publication that may be helpful.
No, that's okay. Now that I'm looking at it, it seems pretty straightforward, and there's a worksheet to help me figure out what I should put. It appears this one is for this current year. Does that mean I have to give you a new one every year?
No, not unless you claim exempt from withholding, or if you have a life change that requires you to pay more income taxes. Then you need to submit a new amended form. I send an email out to everyone in the company on December 1st each year with a reminder to turn in a new W-4 if you have had a life change and need to adjust your income tax withholding.
Okay, I'll fill it out today.
Thanks, Angela.
When you are hired, you provide a W-4 to your employer so that they can accurately calculate the federal income tax amount to withhold from your wages each pay period. While the W-4 is a federal form, it is also used by many states to calculate the state income tax amount to withhold from your wages. And other states have their own version of Form W-4 that must be completed in order to calculate the proper state income tax withholding from your pay. Your company will let you know. On your W-4, you have the option to request an additional amount of tax be withheld from your check each pay. This amount is withheld in addition to the withholding amount calculated based on the other information provided on your W-4. On this pay statement, you can see that this employee elected to have an additional $40 taken out of their check for federal income tax and an additional $10 for state income tax. Claiming an exemption from withholding on your Form W-4 will result in federal income tax not being withheld from your paycheck. Sounds great, right? Well, not exactly. You are only allowed to claim an exemption from withholding on your Form W-4 if you had no federal income tax liability in the prior year, and you expect that you will have no federal income tax liability in the current year. If you claim exempt but end up having to pay federal income tax, you could be subject to penalties and interest.
Hello, Jen. I wanted to give you my new W-4 form for this year.
Okay, great. Oh, but it looks like you didn't finish filling it out.
Yes, I did. I'm changing to claim exempt by checking the exempt from withholding box at the bottom.
Oh, I see. Okay, thanks.
See you later.
I didn't want to look stupid, but I have no idea what to do with this.
You look like you might need some help.
Yes, I do. I just got this from one of the employees.
So he's claiming exempt. What's the problem?
The problem is, I don't know what it means.
It means that you need to stop withholding federal income tax from his check.
He doesn't have to pay taxes anymore?
Maybe, if he had no tax liability last year and doesn't expect any this year, he can claim exempt, so that FIT isn't withheld.
Do I need to make sure that's the case?
No, you are not responsible for verifying an employee's W-4 is accurate. You do, however, need to make sure he filled out the form properly. And this form expires on February 15th of the new year. So if he wants to continue claiming exempt next year, he will need to provide a new form to you before then.
So, W-4s that say they're exempt from withholding expire.
Correct. You will need to get one for the new year by February 15th if he plans to continue claiming exempt status. If you don't get one, then you have to treat him as if no W-4 has been submitted and withhold at the single rate.
He doesn't make a lot of money, but I would think it's enough that he'd have to pay taxes.
You don't know what his personal taxes look like, so you can't assume. But what you can do is make sure he understands the rules for being exempt from withholding, because an employee who submits a false W-4 can be slapped with a $500 fine.
Okay, I appreciate your help.
Anytime. There's one more thing before I go. Just because he's exempt from withholding does not mean he's exempt from taxation. So when it comes time to do his W-2, his federal taxable wages still need to go in box 1.
All right, I'll make sure of it. Thanks again.
No problem. Talk to you later.